Good morning. We are live with Community Farm Alliance, and we are meeting Martin Richards this morning, who is going to be giving us some information about Community Farm Alliance. So, good morning, Martin. How are you doing?
Good morning. Yes, I am Martin Richards. We're here at the main office of Community Farm Alliance, 327 Chestnut Street in Berea, and it's a beautiful morning here, crisp and fall, and let's get going. Please come in.
Look at the beautiful quilt with all the canning jars. You can definitely tell this is the place to talk farm.
Well, welcome. A little bit quieter in here. We actually have 12 staff, and they're all across the state from Bowling Green to Hazard. And this little office here in Berea is our central office. It's pretty packed with stuff, but that's kind of to be expected after 35 years. Community Farm Alliance, we got our start by a group of tobacco and dairy farmers during the farm crisis of the 1980s. My own uncle lost my grandfather during that crisis, and I didn't understand why or how until many years later as I was farming and I joined Community Farm Alliance. But actually that group of tobacco and dairy farmers who started CFA, the first thing they did was set up a suicide hotline because their friends, their neighbors, their family were losing their farms. And that was the first thing they do, is set up this service to help them through that time. And then they determined that the real problem at that time was turned out to be public policy. A whole lot of things. If you're old enough, you could remember the Secretary of Agriculture's statement about get big or get out. So they formed CFA because they wanted to have a voice in determining the public policy around agriculture, or food and farming and those kind of things that impact them on their farm and determine the future for their kids who also want to be farming. So that's how we got started. That's still what we do today, is about community organizing. It is about leadership development, and then the public policies that determine all that. But, in between that, we often create projects or programs that directly address the issues that our members have. Because we rely on our members across the state to identify the problems that they're having. And we find that, most people know their problems, and they also have a pretty good idea how to fix their problems. They just need help in determining how to start. And that's where Community Farm Alliance comes in. So, over the years, we have created a lot of things in Kentucky. I often say that we break the ground that let other folks come behind and do things, and that's everything from farm to school programs to, right now our big one of our big things is Kentucky Double Dollars. So those are incentives that folks who are utilizing their SNAP or their WIC benefits at farmers markets can get them doubled up. And we do that because it supports Kentucky farmers. It puts more money in their pockets, but it also helps Kentuckians who are disadvantaged or low income have better access to fresh, healthy food. We're right now, so we're in a pandemic, and people suddenly become very much aware of where their food comes from, and are really valuing it. And we've seen a huge kind of surge in support and desire for locally produced food. For one, when you can't go into the grocery store and find anything, who do you turn to? Well, you turn to your friends and your neighbors, your farmers who are living locally. And so we have responded, as with everybody else, the pandemic has turned everything on its head, including the food system. So we responded in a number of ways to dealing with that, helping farmers markets. As the governor said, that they are a vital resource, and so we've helped our farmers markets, and we work with over 50 of them across the state to make sure that they're a safe, inviting place for people. So we've given them guidance. We're able to accumulate monies from some private funders to help with sanitary supplies, things like that. So I've really gone down a rabbit hole, I know, on this, but it's kind of like wind me up and get me started about that. So I guess this is Facebook Live. First time I've ever done it, I think. So I'm going to get up a little bit and show you one thing. You can see that. You can see that. So this is actually our diagram of our theory of change. And this little wheel is just a kind of a training tool we use. But our theory of change is actually, it starts with families and individuals. As I said, people in the communities who identify their problems and then, work to solution. So we work with them on engaging in their communities, reaching out to other folks. Often it's local government. And then, we also do, help them to collaborate with other organizations, both in their community, but with across the next county over. Because it turns out, even though in Kentucky we have strong county identities, often the problems we're having in one county, like Madison County, yeah, guess what? Our neighbors in the next county over are having the same problem. So breaking down those county lines is huge in addressing a lot of the problems. And then, like I said, the model projects that we undertake we undertake these model projects to directly address the problems that folks are having in their communities. But at the same time, through those model projects, is we're able to lift them up and go to Frankfurt or Washington and say, hey, listen, if you pass this bill or you appropriate and create this program, what was done in this community can be done in every community. And so that we use those model projects, to further that. But none of that work gets done, whether it's Frankfurt or Washington, unless we start building alliances across the state. And, right now, the access to healthy food is a huge alliance because it just touches everything. Everybody likes to eat, obviously, but, the medical and healthcare professions, really support access to better quality food, high nutritional food, to address, current things that are problems in our community, like diabetes and heart disease and things like that, as well as farmers and stuff like that. And then we address the legislation. It's work in Frankfurt in the sausage factory there to get good policies and bills passed. And then, then you have to look, once a bill is passed, then you have to look and say, is it really addressing what the root of the problem is? And oftentimes it comes down to whatever state agency is implementing that policy. And so it starts all over again for this. And we have since changed this a little bit to ask the question, when things get implemented that the legislature has passed, is it being done in an equitable way? Is it everybody have access to the same resources or the same assistance that this legislation has passed? And again, if the answer is no, we start all over again. And a little bit else. I said we have 12 staff that scattered across the state. Most of our staff work from home offices or offices that we have in Hazard. For instance, we have an office there. So the pandemic, work-wise, it has people are still able to work. Although, because we're a membership-based organization, fellowship is really important to us, but that's been really hard in the age of pandemic. So we've moved to, like everybody else, Zoom or Facebook Live. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I do want to add the importance of the nonprofit sector. I think people know about nonprofits, though they may not know how they operate, but they are, in fact, generally make up about 12% of the economy. Here in Berea, it's actually a little bit higher. I don't know the number, but I'm guessing it's 18, 20% here in Berea, because for whatever reason, Berea has become the home base for a lot of nonprofits in our community, and a lot of people will work with those nonprofits. Some of them have come out of Berea College, or others, like Community Farm Alliance, have just found this a conducive atmosphere. For instance, our very first office was here in Berea. It was behind the tavern. The house is no longer there. And then we moved to Frankfort for years and years and years. But about 10 years ago, when I became executive director, I was already living in Berea because I'd started working at another nonprofit after I quit farming. And so we ended up moving Berea back, CFA back to Berea, so it was kind of a bit of a homecoming for us to come back to Berea. But it is really great to be here in Berea. Our staff, we have 5 staff who live right here in Madison County. We really enjoy it, and we're glad to be part of the community, and we're glad to be part of Berea Chamber of Commerce.
So Martin, tell us, if those that are watching or those that are maybe see this later on today or past today, what is the best way to reach you? What's your phone number, website? Do you have a Facebook page? And what is your address again?
Yes, so our physical address is 327 Chestnut Street here, right on the Berea's main drag here. We do have all that stuff. So we do have several Facebook pages, but Community Farm Alliance Facebook page. Our website is, and you can Google Community Farm Alliance, and you'll take it there. If you Google CFA, you might get like the Cat Fanciers of America or something like that. But anyway, and our website has all kinds of information on it. And we are a membership-based organization, and our membership is really reflective of Kentucky. Obviously about half of our members are actual, rural folks, farmers, but, the other half are folks who really support Kentucky's family farmers, and we really rely on our members. So I would welcome anybody who wants to join Community Farm Alliance. And it's open to everybody, and we welcome everybody to it.
Martin, we thank you so much this morning, and it is wonderful to be out with the Berea Chamber of Commerce. Even during the middle of a pandemic, we're able to get out and educate and inform everyone about what our members are doing, what's going on out in the community, and we really appreciate Community Farm Alliance and Martin, you coming out this morning to show us and talk to us about it. So thank you so much.
Oh, it was my honor and privilege. Thank you.